Trying so hard and thank
You okay?
Yeah, we're good whenever you want to start.
Yeah.
Well, we're making a couple of copies, so.
Okay.
It's been a very busy day.
That's her. Thank you. You got it. I have. We sent one who wanted. Because I think we should. This was the resolution. This is the law. Yes.
Correct. That's. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
You ready? You ready? Hi, good evening all. Welcome to the town board meeting, June 3rd, 2025. Please rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Morgan,
Here.
Councilwoman McMahon. Here. Councilman Niles.
Here.
Supervisor Moreno.
Here. All right, first up, we have the Lake Association wants to make a presentation.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. My name is Kurt DeColsi. I'm the acting president of the association, and he needs some introduction for him. We're here to give a brief presentation on what we believe is going to happen this summer, what we're working on this summer in the area of lake quality. So there's two general areas. The first we'll talk about is the water quality itself, which is going to have a color coded.
Mike, why don't you get on that side? You're blocking everybody that's sitting there.
The calendar sort of gives an idea of how busy the summer is, but the color codes suggest what they're actually about. Water quality, the first three are town funded, but we're supporting them with volunteers and a boat and transportation. But the Warren County Soil and Water is testing the water for organics, for things like E. coli and, well, it's not organics, but stuff that indicates that things are getting into the lake from septic systems and such. That happened yesterday. We went around the lake, 26 locations and took up water samples and readings. They will also be coming back for a different purpose with divers later in the summer to look for the milfoil. We want to verify that the milfoil's no longer there. Afraid that may not be true, but we'll find out. And finally, they'll be back again. Well, they won't. It's not them, but there will be a plant survey sponsored by the town that will verify that the plant distribution of plant life in the lake is returning to what we might call normal. The fourth effort is sponsored by the association. That's the Citizen Statewide Lake Assessment Program, which has been going on since 2019, and we are continuing And we have to, of course, give many, many thanks to the two teachers who acted as advisors during this process. That would be Jean Beaver and Kathleen Thomas. Right, well, education didn't stop there. We had to get some education too. So Jane and I took a course at, online course on lakes, and got a lot of ideas which we're going to be translating into communications that we will be using with lake residents and lake users. And we all had to get our boat licenses. I don't know if you know about that law, January 1st, right? We all had to get our boat licenses. Let's see, just a couple of additional notes. We're actually, Lake Luzerne is hosting the quarterly meeting of the Warren County Soil and Water. And we'll be making a presentation there. And
You have a
that's,
date on that
I'm sorry,
meeting? Do you have a date on that meeting?
July, what the date on that, right?
Yeah,
It's July 9th.
July 9th, and we're hosting it. It's a Wednesday. We'll be in the pavilion. Barring weather, and people from all over the county, 25 to 30 people. Jim's been at the meetings. I've attended a couple, and they're on Zoom. And they go around the room and everybody presents, and they're hoping maybe we can get some of the students there. I want to emphasize what we've done with the high school as well, a little bit to go beyond what Kurt said. It was at that conference, statewide. They were the only high school ever to do a presentation at the state conference. They wore their shirts that you've seen here. In the past, their citizen science shirts, they were rock stars. Meaning people were taking pictures of them, asking them questions wherever they went. They went in a group. And one of the kids' mother is a photographer, took a lot of pictures. And I'm surprised it hasn't been in the Post-Star yet or any of the publications, but she has correspondence with different medias. She does things for BOCES as well. But what a boon for Luzerne. It's the first and only high school group that's ever done this at the state conference, and we're very proud. Jane and I worked a lot with them.
One of those kids is considering majoring in environmental science.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be great?
You done, or you have any questions? It's a busy summer, as you can see, with all the dots. We're out on the lake, pardon?
I'm sorry, what time on the 9th?
What time on the 9th?
I think they have their meetings at 10. It's the 9th is a Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District.
Right.
But you're coming here to
Nine?
the pavilion.
10 to 9.
You call the office
Is it
and have
9 or
that.
10? I'm not sure, Jim.
I think 9 o'clock they start.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 to 11 generally.
That's a concert day. We're aware of that.
Right.
So, but the meetings are typically 2 hours long or so.
Yeah.
You're gonna put that down.
I just wanna make sure it's on our board, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't recall that, but it could have happened when I was away as well.
And they provide lunch, they provide food. We're gonna try to get the kids there too. High school kids there, if we can get them out, and bring a poster and talk about that as well. And we're gonna be working with them all summer. And even though one of the lead teachers is retiring, the other teacher that's worked with us has said that she would take over with the kids.
It's a Monday. July 9th is a Monday.
July 9th is a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, I got it.
We got to check.
It was a Saturday.
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We're busy. We're out on the lake 18 times this summer. So again, I invite every time we're out here, we invite you to come out on the lake with us. We'll show you what we've done, what we propose, the areas that we've cleaned and the aquatic plant life, and we've seen a lot of good things out on the lake just in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The loons are back. The herons are out,
Muskrats.
muskrats are out. We've seen a lot of good turtle life out there. So the lake is dynamic, very clean and usable.
Okay, let's, three quick things. First is, the loon program is ongoing. We're trying to protect the loons. We have the, collection up for the, fishing lines. And, Aileen is working on other activities like the lake cleanup if necessary, may not be necessary. And further education. And I've been reminded that I forgot to include here that the Community Lake Association breakfast is Saturday, July 5th at 9 o'clock in the morning. And beyond that, I just want to thank you all for your support of this collaboration. We look forward to continuing it.
Wait, that fifth is on the pavilion.
I'm sorry.
The fifth is at the pavilion.
It's at the pavilion.
Oh, yes.
Thanks, guys, for doing this stuff.
Any questions?
I think people have no idea how many hundreds and hundreds of hours you guys told me.
We're keeping track of our hours, and at the end of the summer, we'll submit a bill to the board.
There you go. 10 cents an hour is no problem.
10 cents an hour is still gonna be hundreds
Don't
of
overpay
dollars.
us.
But, thank you.
And thanks for the good
Yeah, I
job.
got a quick question, guys.
Kurt,
When do you expect the results on the milfoil
The results in the next dive.
of the survey? Yeah. I mean, how, do you know,
The divers are coming next week.
and they'll tell you right away.
Yeah.
This is the media and they don't have to elaborate.
How about the water quality? What is that usually too?
Well, the sea slab, we do that in the summer. We typically get the report late in the year or in the next year. They're all available online. I can get you a link if you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because frankly, I spent a great deal of time trying to go through that data myself because I was just not sure about some of the things people were
It's tough.
saying.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion that that's a very good report. So I trust it.
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
Thanks.
Part of this ordinance or the application thereof to any person, firm, or corporation or circumstances shall be adjusted by any court of competent jurisdiction to be invalid or unconstitutional. Such order or judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder thereof, but shall bind in its operation to the clause, sentence, paragraph, part of the ordinance or its application to the person, individual, firm, or corporation or circumstance directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment or order shall be rendered.
Just a quick note, all of this has been because we've been contacted with DEC and we've been working with them to start making that road a little safer. That's why this all got started.
Supervisor, did you, ask council about adding that,
Oh.
time?
Yeah, and in this, the thing, I saw it today when I was reading it. When-
Something that said.
Yeah, well,
overnight parking.
I want to add something to that. I think I spoke to you about it.
You spoke to Mary, and I know there was some discussion
Yeah.
about fines. And I think it was her opinion that you should go ahead and adopt this tonight. And then we can amend it further to address the fine.
Well, I had one thing about parking there overnight.
Overnight.
Yeah,
Yeah, he wanted to add no
no
parking
parking.
overnight between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. Is that something that? can be
In these
added?
same zones.
Mhm.
Isn't
Well, you
that,
can't park at all, and,
isn't that redundant?
no,
Can't park there.
Right, yeah, but it's not saying it's overnight.
Say, never park.
you can't park there at all.
Okay,
So we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
as long as it gets in there, that it, because we've been getting, especially the last couple of weeks.
As it's written, you can't park in those locations that are specified at all, ever, overnight or otherwise.
Okay. So we're covered.
Well, we're getting signs made up for no parking, so I'll let the people know. The last month or so, we've gotten some calls, people even staying there overnight. And, it's not good for our town.
Chase, is that working?
Now it is. I think there's some sort of issue with Zoom itself. Every couple of minutes, it shuts down and can't open back up.
And what's working, I'm wondering if anybody on Zoom has any comments about the public hearing for changing our parking.
I think we're at Article 4. Yes, we're on Article 4.
If she didn't read the last article, that we were.
Correct.
It's just the effective date. When you guys decide to make that.
So it'll be effective after town board approval.
Yes,
Can you repeat the range?
you make speak louder and go up to the hill.
Can you repeat the range?
Yeah, I'll read that whole paragraph again, okay? No vehicle shall be parked or left standing on either side of River Road in the town of Lake Luzerne from the Thomas Road intersection north to the Warrensburg town line and on the east side of River Road from Thomas Road intersection south for 300 yards.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, you're all right with that?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm sure this is a no-brainer, but people can still park in the designated parking areas, the canoe put-in area and that kind of thing. There are some
We got,
parking
I
areas.
think we're gonna have any signs on order for no parking. We're gonna hope to space them out along the road. That's my idea. I don't know, if it'll go over with everybody, but.
No, my question is, there is some designated parking if people do
Well,
want
if we
to park.
space them out the way I'm thinking, put some on one side of the road, leave the other side of the road blank. Then go up a little more, put them on that side of the road and leave this side, so you have it staggered. But we're not trying to keep people out of there totally.
It does not make the whole road no parking.
But there's
One
some
side or
parking,
the other.
otherwise there'll be a war here, if we don't put some parking.
Yeah, it's
Well,
gonna
we're
be
just trying to-
scattered, so it's not closed in.
Yeah, we're just trying to get down to the safety. That area is getting to be quite a bit more than ever before. And so people getting out in the summer and
Yeah.
I know we'll have a few problems, but we'll solve them all. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. No other questions? All right, I'd like to close the public hearing. So. We'll vote on closing the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, Laura, the rest is yours.
Do we want to proceed with that right now?
Are you doing a resolution to adopt that now? Or
Yes.
Is that-
Now, and wait till we've got.
Is that okay? It's okay to do that.
Absolutely, do it. Yeah, you held the public hearing, closed it.
I make a motion that we approve the legislative intent of changing the parking on River Road per the attached.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none carried.
Roll call. Roll call.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So,
we do.
we do, we need roll call.
Councilman Morton,
Recuse.
Councilwoman McMahon,
Yes.
Councilman Niles,
Yes.
Supervisor Molino.
Yes.
Somebody's got to let the EDC know that we passed this. So they can start enforcing it.
Can they enforce it until before the signs are up?
Probably not.
Oh, that means no one is.
Okay.
The signs will be a couple more weeks. We got time.
We should all have.
Yes.
All right, Lori, go on with it, paying the bills.
Proposed resolution to pay the bills of the 10th abstract of 2025 as presented. General fund vouchers 5033 to 5062, $29,257.87. Highway fund vouchers 5063 to 5. Every other month will be.
Instead of every other.
I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution to set Lake Luzerne Water District service rate at $200 for the base rate. And just so you know, that includes 60,000 gallons of water annually and per gallon overage charge of 0.00275 cents per gallon.
All right, can I explain a little bit of that?
Have
The
discussion.
reason why we're doing this now is because it's been a long time since we raised the cost of the water that
And you all have this sheet.
we all have. The water that, not the whole town gets water, but the people that get water from Lake Luzerne. And we went back and in 2020, we had 570,000 fund balance, paying the bills on them, any repairs or anything. And it's slowly been going down. 2021, it was 425,000. In 2022 was 286,000. 2023, 170,000. Now, 2004 is 124,000. So we haven't been raising that, so we kind of start going back into raising it. So we're gonna go from, you did say what we're gonna go,
Yeah,
it's a $50 raise, it's from 150 to 200. So, we feel reasonably cheap for water per month, for seasons. Okay, you want to check that?
We have to have a public hearing on that.
That's all.
We'll proceed with that.
Yeah, well,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Proposed resolution to enter into an agreement with Christopher Belden of Northeast Planning Solutions as it pertains to grants You all have that as well.
We had a hearing with him 2 weeks ago. He works for a lot of different places and it's a reasonable price. Grants are available, but you really, we had Tracy Ozier doing it for at least 10 years. She's retired. We need somebody to keep an eye on the grants that come in and keep a monitor on it. Most of us do not have the time to watch that. And, he gave us a reason, got this proposal, right?
Yeah. His
Proposal. Actually, he'll be here. He's gonna be, he called me, he's a little late, but he'll be here later in case the board has any questions. So I'm gonna put this resolution off to the end.
Before he gets here, I just wanted to say I did reach out. I know we talked about, Mary suggested another firm to try to get a quote from for the grant writing. I never heard back from him, so. The other firm that Corinth uses for grant writing, yeah, so. I reached out, didn't
No, they're back. Okay, that's good. At least we did that. Good. Thank you. We'll put off Belden's until we get here. He said he had a meeting at 6:30 and he'd be here by 8 o'clock. We'll hold this for there. In case you have any questions. Okay, we had one problem. Want to explain that?
Thanks.
The SW2 Hudson Road Water District.
Councilman Niles was in on that
I'll explain.
conversation.
We had a leak. And it went on repaired for a while. And it has since been repaired. And we need to work on procedures to make sure that things like this don't get backburned, and I'm gonna take some of that responsibility. I didn't know about it. But I thought it had been fixed. So we had a leak that cost us some money. Because of water that we purchased from Corinth.
That's in the Hudson Grove area. That's in the southern part of the town. We buy our water from Brent. The bill that came in was $40,619.85. Water's expensive. We keep it as cheap as possible. It's expensive, so need a motion. Go ahead and pay that bill.
How long was that for?
What's that?
How long was that 40,000? A quarter?
Water. But the problem was about, I would say 2 days. By the time they realized it, got it fixed and the part.
There's
We
the
don't,
quarter.
we do not. do
Quarter,
resolutions
same quarter.
today. That'll be in the next abstract.
Okay. So it'll be in the next abstract to pay that bill. We don't need a resolution.
This is a tangent, but I think at some point we may want to consider having our own meter on our side of the bridge. I have no idea what that would entail money wise or whatever. But we may want to discuss that, see if it's feasible. It might not be worth it. I don't know.
All right, we can check it.
Well, I think it would, I mean, we would, for $40,000, it's definitely. I mean, there was no red flags coming up from Corinth saying that, hey, something's up because.
I talked to the guy today. They give you, that's what we use, that's what we gotta pay.
So they read it quarterly,
Yeah,
and
yes.
when they read it, there was so much more usage because of that. If you did put a meter on our side, you could actually, as a board, ask our meter readers to read that. Say monthly, if you wanted to.
They're within 30 yards of that every day. Checking.
Yeah, they could easily read it and report it to me or Cindy.
And how can we get a meter?
That
Yeah, we can-
doings, I'm not sure about how that all works.
We'll buy one and have other guys put on it, but the point is, if you don't read it often, you're not gonna catch it. This is a
I'm saying
broken-
you could have them
broken
read it
water
for,
broken
monthly.
line.
So I got a question, and Jim, I appreciate you taking responsibility for that, but I should take
hopefully not anybody does anything wrong, if we got a main like that breaks. They don't have the right part, they're taking it for day, but we gotta keep the water running, so people have water.
Yeah, no, I understand it, but obviously it was longer than a day.
Just can't shut it off for a couple of days.
Mhm.
That's the problem with that those maintenance. Even the days, it's even, sometimes they don't have a part, I can get it. But they do as well as they can with it. This one happened to go a little longer than it should have.
Yeah, I would talk to Ron and maybe Rick and Brian, because Rick and Brian do meters, Ron's transmission or distribution. Transmission.
But right now, we don't have any meter at all, that we,
Not on our side, that's
on our
correct.
side.
That is correct.
And do they read their meter? They only read it quarterly?
They only read them quarterly, that's what I'm saying, if you did end up putting one on our side, you guys could ask for a monthly reading. Where we could keep track,
Every day.
you might see a big jump and say, oh, what's going on, you know?
Right, I mean. That was an expensive break, but breaks happen,
Right,
you know, but if we can catch that, you know, a lot sooner. Thank you.
Yeah, because I agree with you, partly, they should have seen it on the print side, like we could see it on our meter.
Yeah,
When our pumps are running, we can spot it then. All of a sudden, man, it's spikes, it's down the water things.
should have alerted someone.
Right.
That's a big jump.
You can then ask that same question.
Yeah.
Somebody will get a bill from us that's 5 times what it used to be, and they say, I didn't know, it was running way up.
Was this break
So we don't
on
need
someone's
to just
property?
silly.
Do we know where this break was? Was it on someone's property that,
it's on our leader, right?
Yeah, it was right on the bleeder,
It's right on the bleeder,
where they check the water
You know what that is.
no, I don't,
right across the bridge.
If you come across the bridge, for
okay.
there was a new house being built right there,
Yeah.
to the right,
Right
the
here.
house on the right. It's also our sampling sites.
Okay.
So, it's Clay or Logan or Steve, one of them is there every day.
And that's fixed now?
I mean, biggest problem is when you gotta fix something like that, number one, you gotta dig it up.
Right,
You gotta shut all the water up around it, so nobody has water. Then if you get down and see what it is, line up the proper. And go out, get the equipment, so you gotta leave it running, otherwise people might not have water for 2 days.
and what, was this a break because of the frost? Is that what you're
I
saying?
think it was. They're assuming it was. That's was right at.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the, what we'll call the winter season. But you never know if it started with a little spout,
Right,
then froze there and made it bigger.
We need to get some more information from Ron.
I mean, we could remedy that by reading the meters twice or 3 times a year. But does it take a week now for 2 guys? to
You're
do it?
talking 2 different districts.
Yeah, but, and the same thing, but it's, I
Right.
mean, they're reading meters right now.
In
And
this district, that district, there's no meters.
there's
on
no
the
meter
poles.
down in that distance.
yeah,
It takes them about a week, 2 guys to go read every meter down.
but if Corinth has a meter. And we're depending on them to read that.
Well, I'll give you the thing what the gentleman answered when I called. Oh, you gotta call building for rent. You wanna know, no part of answering the question. They asked him why the building was so big. Well, the main office.
So they read quarterly. Okay, so it's no different than like we read annually. So we don't know until we read every June. If somebody has a big leak. So it's kind of the same thing, but they do it quarterly.
I mean, you could turn around and spend in the neighborhood of 150,000 to have those electric meters on every house. That they can ride, one guy can ride down the street in one day, read every meter. But it's not a cheap thing,
Right,
and it goes to the building of the water.
It would raise their rate even more
mhm,
to pay.
So if you guys agree, I'll talk to Ron. and asking for more information about this specific problem. So give us the history, what we do, so that we get, I'll ask him to get a price to put a main meter this side of the bridge. Yeah. Great.
No, it's not gonna be easy to get shut off.
I don't think that will
They
take.
move people without water.
Yeah.
All right, move on. Okay,
I see which buildings here.
Logan's not here, so there's no report from water superintendent.
Which buildings here.
Oh, I didn't see him walk in. Rich, you're here. I'm sorry. I want to come up front. And you're here walking. Okay, back up to the resolution. This came in a couple of weeks ago, gave us a proposal. We all have that. And wanted to take over. It's important because you need somebody like Chris, and I'm not building him up. He's been a long time and does a good job. We don't have the time to watch every grant that's out there. Anytime there's money available for the town. So we had Tracy for all these years, at least 10, 12 years that I know. And she was the one who would find one of them and bring it to us, and we'd say, yeah, let's do it. So we'd like to bring on Chris. He does that in other places. He's got a business that he covers that. And he can scout out, because you gotta watch him. I just got a letter, and I got it in my report from Lisa Stefanik's office. She just put that 1.8 million that we had okay yet last year. It was moved into 2026. Because you gotta move them every year, it's the government. So she redid it again.
I have a good handle on the existing grants you have. I think I have a pretty good understanding of where you want to go, and I think, I'm looking forward to a chance to work with you guys.
I'm looking forward to it too.
There's no conflict, with Luzerne, Bowden, that you can do grants for us and grants for Bowden,
Yes,
even if it's the same grant.
if that's the case, I may I may not be able to, but I would, in that case, I would refer you to an entity that could.
But we would be the ones bumped.
Correct, from me writing them, but I think that doesn't preclude me, I guess, from developing your ideas and, there's other agencies such as the county planning department, regional planning that you may be able to utilize as well, to assist with grant writing, but that would be, I think, the only conflict. But it would just be, I hope that answers your question.
So primarily your loyalty per se for the grant writing would be in Bowden.
Not necessarily, I think that,
Okay.
I think there's a variety of different grant programs out there. I think, and we're not always competing simultaneously either, our projects are in different various, stages of development, so it wouldn't necessarily, we're not necessarily applying, Bolton's not necessarily applying for every grant every year. Neither is the town of Lake Luzerne, so.
Okay, but if you're gonna be advising us on what grant to apply for. you see
Then
what I'm
yes,
saying?
then yes.
I don't want a conflict of interest.
Yes, and I guess my answer to that would be, you know, my goal is to separate those two duties, right? Is, you know, I work for the town of Bolton.
Yeah.
But my service to you would be, my service to you would be through Northeast Planning Solutions. And it would be, there wouldn't be any lack of effort or identification of opportunities and that kind of thing for you. And I can certainly help you with developing your ideas. For opportunities where there might be a conflict, but I mean, I don't see it being a large problem.
Okay, but you would still be able to direct us.
Correct.
To some.
Absolutely. Yes, so I'm working for the
I
town.
didn't mean to throw a,
No, it's a great question. But yeah, we did have the town and I did have a conversation, the other day, which was after I met with the supervisor. But I don't foresee that being a conflict of interest. Not a conflict of interest, and I think in terms of the competing for similar grants, I wouldn't be looking to set the town of Lake Luzerne up at a disadvantage.
Thank you.
The cancellation clause, contract can be canceled by either party in 30 days notice.
All right,
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
As they said, the grants are out there. We don't know half of what's.
Sure.
there. Percentage, 1% of what's out there. How often can we expect for you to update us? Like if we give you a list of potential projects or things that we're looking for, can we expect like a monthly, this is what's out there, nothing this month?
I think monthly would be, yeah, or as things come along. I think too, what I would also look to do is send you guys a survey and get a kind of get a better sense of what your priorities are. Maybe sit down with you guys, have a discussion to flesh those things out. But I would think on a monthly basis, you'll be hearing from me of funding opportunities. And obviously, if something came up, a lot of times these things come up and there's a short window of
Yeah.
opportunity to apply.
I've seen the show is 60 days. Sometimes.
Yeah. Which is great on my side, but no, I think I wouldn't be, I wouldn't necessarily be waiting until the end of the month to tell you of an opportunity that's going to close in 15 days or something.
Okay,
I want.
but at minimum a month, we'll hear from you.
Yeah,
Just because,
yeah.
I'll only speak for myself, but if you're not in front of my face or if I don't have anything, I'm gonna forget about it.
Yep.
And I wanna make sure somebody's keeping track of that and can, let us know.
Yeah, I'll be making some noise.
Okay.
Yes.
Think we should add that.
I would like it to be, yeah, I would like it to be added just for, so nobody's questioning,
Sure.
hey, we haven't heard from Chris in 2 months. I wonder if there's anything out there.
Sure.
I want to avoid that.
Yeah, you want to hear what's out there and.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
add a clause. that says
shortest
you
time
give
is
us a
good for us
report.
too. We still gotta get together and vote on it.
Correct, correct.
Can't call us tomorrow and say there's one coming up Friday, it makes it tough.
Yeah, no, I think it's always good to know.
But they're out there, they give you
Yeah.
a time once they come out.
They do, and a lot of these are reoccurring. We kind of know, they're annual or they're biannual. We kind of know when they're gonna come out, just don't
Every
know
year
when.
for 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, so, but I think what's gonna be key is to, work with the board to understand. Obviously, you've got a lot of wants, but there's gotta be some priorities. And, once I kind of understand what the big picture is, what your priorities are, I think it makes it a lot easier to look for the funding, see what's out there, what matches up well with your needs.
I know right now, Dane's interested in something for trails, bike trails, things like that. So that'll be the first one we hit you with.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's what we got on the board right now.
You mentioned something that we gotta keep in the front of our heads. That is what the county will do for us. They just did one for us.
Mhm.
And, it's just in now for approval to cost the town a nickel.
Hmm.
Dan and I, mostly Dan, but, well, I'm thinking your sales, but the one I did, we gave them all the information. Dave Nelson wrote the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's certainly an opportunity out there. And it's, you know, a big county, 13 communities.
So you're in touch with those guys, right?
I'm in touch with those guys. Yeah, but I think, you know, where I think the benefit of having, you know, myself involved would be, you have kind of, somebody who's your go-to person and making sure that you're staying on top of these things.
That's all I have, before we go to everybody else. All right, there's nobody here from the road. How about zoning, Karen?
So you all should
Yeah.
have received my report for the month, and other than that, I have nothing to report. We are still working on trying to straighten out that road issue that we spoke about last month. Over in East River Estates area, but we've made progress, but we don't have a completion yet. That's all I have.
Any Councilman Warren?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the American Legion for putting on the Memorial Day Parade again this year. I was lucky enough to participate in it. The kids were on a float. They loved it. They enjoyed it. It looked like there was a really good turnout for it. And I heard from multiple people that it was the best parade that they've seen in Luzerne in years. So I just wanted to make sure that the American Legion got a thank you from us for putting that on. That's all I have.
We have more of our board members march on them.
I was out of state, so I'm sorry. All right.
That was my 20th March, so I made it all the way.
Were you in there? I didn't even see it.
I was right up front with my.
Oh yeah, you're the big boss. I forgot.
But I walked, I didn't ride.
I walked too.
All right,
I drove.
you drove, I know, that's why I brought it up. All right, Trish's a woman in town, man.
Yes, I just wanted to touch base on that speed limit sign for the middle school. Kevin was going to,
Hasn't come in yet, that takes a year.
no, but he said that he did not, put in that request. And we had to start all over.
Or Kevin, at the county?
Yeah.
One, please, sir.
No, you had asked me, I told you what, board meeting, it was a year ago, a year of September.
They're saying they don't have it?
They never put in a request for it.
All right.
You're not using that real road, right?
No, I'm not.
So do they need to do an investment, trying to do a new speed?
All right, I'll get Kevin tomorrow.
And then the other thing I wanted to, where do we stand with the lamppost? Were you able to do that check?
No, but I talked to Brian and he had, he and I are gonna do it. Sometime.
Okay.
I talked to him probably 2-3 days after that. He's got a lot of stuff going on with his daughter right now. Cause it'll be night for it.
Mhm.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. I do know when we had that tornado that ripped that one lamppost on Hudson Court, or not Hudson Court, on Beach Drive. That's still laying down, so. So we won't have a, I mean, you'll have,
30 uptown.
you'll have a part of a pole with a number, but
Where is it?
right on the corner. Right, East River Drive and Beach Drive. To the ditch.
I know I had that one on the list when I did those.
That's all I have.
All right,
Thank you.
Councilman Miles?
Just one thing, in terms of the Northwoods Dam. District and so on, I sent an email today to CT Mail. Asking them how they're coming with their report, which they told us we'd have by the end of May. I didn't hear back. I sent the email this morning, I haven't heard back, so. Northwoods folks, I'll stay on, put it on my calendar to call in 3 or 4 days.
You gotta stay on those guys.
So,
Yeah, well, they're the same.
Deputy Clerk, you have anything?
I provided our monthly clerk report. And we received correspondence from the Adirondack Folk School thanking you for the donation of $7,500. That is it. Oh, we're reading meters in the Lake Luzerne Water District. If everything goes well, they should be done on Thursday, and then I take over from there, and hopefully the bills are out by June 25th. And that's where we're going to go. All I have.
That it, Lauren?
Yeah.
Okay. How about this attorney? Do you have anything to say? No comments, you write all that stuff.
I do write lots of stuff down.
All right. So the only thing is, I really don't have much. We had a lot of trouble this week with Americade. A lot of yahoos were out there. And I'm gonna make a big report when they have the Americade review. Because what I'm gonna try to stop, I don't know if I'll do it. They have 2 or 3 outfits there that have 5, 6, 7 bikes. And they let people take out and go for rides. Well, somebody came in our town and put up all these yellow signs, turn here, turn there, and they had the motorcycles running through most of our quiet end of the community that don't get motorcycles. I got a lot of calls. So I know the girls in the office laughed at me, but I went out, took all the signs down, brought them here, we had about 12, 15 of them. Took them to the dumps, but I will report it to Americade. And they just can't, especially those guys that let people ride the bike as an experiment. They gotta find a different place, send them up on the highway so they can run up there and run back. But they had them down here, they put yellow sign, make a turn here, make a turn there. So a lot of people will call on me that always hear the motorcycles, but barely ever see them.
So it was Gage Hill Road,
Gage Hill.
and which is a very quiet neighborhood. And they were complaining because of the noise, number one. But number two, the speed that the people were going. They were saying it was very dangerous and
So I'm gonna get with Americade because the people that are letting these bikers go out on these private bikes. Have to read them. They used to go out and chain like ride 10, 12 of them at a time with a leader. So it was always under control. Speed was under control, safety was under control. Now they just give them a bike and say, go. By the time we really got most of it Wednesday, by Thursday, went up, took all the signs down off the 9N. And I appreciate a lot of people that's not on there, because when my car parked on the side of the road and I'm taking a sign down, somebody, you okay? Your car break down? No. I'll open to the public. Anybody have any questions or comments? Very many people tonight, but, you're back there, have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Tricia has.
Just a suggestion that even when we're here, it's a little hard to hear when you don't speak into the mics. But I know when I'm away and I'm on the, on Zoom, I can't hear anything if you don't talk into your mics.
Okay.
You turn,
We
I
got
know
them
you
up and
turn,
down.
look at each other.
How's that?
That's
great.
What about
I'll put it all
collar,
over.
collar mics?
Huh?
Look into collar mics.
They have one.
Get 8.
Well, we have one, but you want to talk to us. All right, thank you for that. Well, I can see some are up and down, get them close. These mics, you gotta be really right there. When you're trying to talk and look at people's reactions, you don't get it that way. But good, we'll work on that.
Thank you.
I'll keep Niles in charge of that, so he'll pull out or whatever. All right.
Anybody else?
Anybody else? How about a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Oh, good. See, that's the way we do it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Hi.